Good Tuesday morning. I'm meteorologist Jeff Gerber. For the next 15 minutes, we're going to be taking a look at the weather across southeast Texas and letting you know what you can expect as we go through not only today and tonight, but as we go through the next 7 days as well. We'll also take a quick check on our two hurricanes out in the Atlantic, Imelda and also Umberto. Both of those are off the East Coast. Looks like they're not going to directly affect the East Coast as far as a landfall, but they're pretty close. At least Imelda is pretty close to Florida right now, and we'll show you that coming up in just a little bit. But first, let's start off. If you're just here for a quick look at the weather for today, maybe want to get through the afternoon. We're expecting to see temperatures in the upper 80s. We might reach 90 for a little bit this afternoon, but generally in the upper 80s through the afternoon into the early evening, by 87 by 6 o'clock, and then we'll flip that around, and by 10 o'clock we'll be at 78. So cooling off by late in the evening, and expecting lows tonight in the 60s, so it's going to be a nice mild start tomorrow. Matter of fact, we'll see 60s for morning lows through the next several days, and we'll show you that coming up in our 7-day forecast. But the clouds that we have out there right now are getting ready to clear out. We're going to go mostly sunny skies as we get into later on this afternoon into this evening, and I'll show you why here on satellite and radar in just a minute. Our allergy report showing weed and mold on the high side, medium on grass, and there's nothing to talk about as far as tree. We don't have any tree pollen out there for today, but allergy report's probably a little worse off than we saw yesterday, especially on the weed side. It's gone up a little bit from what we had yesterday. All right, let's take a look at some of the live sky cams, and you can see the cloud cover we have out there. A little weak disturbance is moving through the area, a little trough of low pressure in the upper atmosphere, and it's kicking up some clouds, and that's about it. We don't have anything on radar, not expecting anything on radar as we go through the late morning hours into the afternoon, but you can just see a few clouds here and there. This is a camera from Packard-LaPrade. We're looking down towards the port of Beaumont. Our Roofing 911 live Skycam network currently showing 83 degrees. Humidity right now about 62%, and we're seeing a little bit of a northeasterly wind, very light, about 2 to 3 miles per hour. As we look down towards the port, you can see a train going through there, a couple of ships loading up before they head out. So not looking too bad this late this morning. Like I said, a little bit of cloud cover. And here's what it looks like from our 12 News studio. Our camera out on our tower as we look down I-10. Looks like traffic is going along smoothly. If you're getting ready to head out for lunch here in about 30 minutes or so, not too bad there. This camera brought to you by Mid-County Plumbing. And you can see a little blue off there in the distance. The backside of some of these clouds is not too far away, as we'll clear out later on this afternoon. Like I mentioned, just got some cloud cover out there right now, and nothing showing up on radar, even though that's some of those clouds in the foreground there. Looks like they could produce maybe a little bit of a sprinkle or something, but nothing doing. We're just going to see some dry weather as we go through the rest of this afternoon with a little cloud cover. Take you all the way over to Lake Charles. Here's the view at the 210 Bridge there, south of Lake Charles. So look at some of the water there around the Lake Charles area, some of the lakes. On our Roofing 911 live Skycam network, and looking pretty quiet there. Been watching some of the boats go by earlier this morning on this camera, but looks like pretty quiet right now. But a lot of high-level cloudiness out there, a few mid-level clouds, but a lot of high-level cloudiness, kind of blocking out a little bit of the sun, filtering out some of that sunshine out there that we will see a little bit more of later on this afternoon. And we'll take a look at another 1 or 2 more cameras here before we move on and take a look at some satellite and radar. Here's the view up towards Jasper. Once again, partly or mostly cloudy skies. You can see a little bit of blue there as we look down the roadways down there up there in Jasper. This camera brought you by Provalis. Jasper County Courthouse is right across the street, just out of the view to your left. And as we look down, I'm not sure what this. I need to find out what street this is in Jasper. 69 is right up the road here. This intersection right here is actually 69 that most people take if they're traveling through Jasper, maybe heading up into the lakes. So you'll see a lot of traffic there. I need to find out what that road is there that goes right in front of the courthouse. And then we'll take you over to Horseman's Western Store in Orange. Once again, we're having a little bit of blue skies and a little bit of cloud cover on our Roofing 911 live Skycam network. Currently showing 86 degrees in Orange, humidity at 59%, so that's not too bad, and a west wind, southwesterly wind at about 4 miles per hour. All right, let's take a look at temperatures outside. Right now we're looking at generally some middle to lower 80s, 81 in Silsbee, one of the lower temperatures. Kirbyville is now updated at 84, 84 in Jasper, 83 in Woodville. Orange at about 86, Beaumont's at 82, and then Port Arthur currently at about 84. Looking over towards the Houston area, about the same as us, 84 there. Conroe's about 85, and then DeQuincy, Lake Charles currently sitting into the lower 80s. So pretty warm out there right now. We'll get up close to 90, especially once the clouds start to clear out of here. And you can see this disturbance moving through the Midwest and back down into the deep south here. And you can see that back edge right there, already through Houston. And then that's going to continue to work its way towards the east. And we'll clear things out of here as far as these clouds and see a lot of sunshine for this afternoon. Most of the states seeing sunny skies. You can see, except for East Texas, maybe a little bit of the Red River Valley, still seeing some clouds. But you're talking about Austin, San Antonio, San Angelo, all the way up to El Paso, seeing some mostly sunny skies right now, if not just sunny skies. So this stuff's moving out of here. We do have the radar in here, and you can see there is nothing going on radar-wise. Maybe an isolated shower towards Dallas, but not showing anything on radar. So even though this weak disturbance is moving through, not doing much, but kicking up a few clouds here or there. Let's expand the view out to the rest of the country, and you can see this disturbance stretching from really border to border as far as the United States is concerned. The clouds going all the way up to Canada, back down through the Midwest, down in towards the Gulf. And there's not any rain along this little disturbance here from Canada down to looks like the Gulf. So pretty quiet, just some cloud cover. Now you head out towards the west. There's a little bit of moisture. Looks like northern parts of Utah getting some pretty heavy rain, maybe some thunderstorms out that way. Some of that moisture streaming up into the northern Rockies there. Looks like the west coast getting ready for another storm system to come in and produce a little bit of wet weather there. LA, Vegas looks like pretty quiet. You get down towards Phoenix, down towards Albuquerque, pretty quiet there for this morning, not much going on. Switch over towards the east coast, not quite as quiet as we see some showers just off the coast. This is Hurricane Imelda, and then that over there, if you can see it on your screen at home, that is Hurricane Umberto. Both these staying off the east coast. This one came close to Florida, but it's going to be moving off towards the east and away from the United States. Still getting some high surf, some rip tides along the east coast, a little bit of rain, some wind as well. So not going to see a landfall here, but being affected a little bit by those hurricanes that are out there into the Atlantic. Gulf is quiet. Looks like it's going to remain quiet for at least the next 7 to 10 days, which is good. That'll put us into October, and the farther into October we go, the better off we'll be. Waters start to cool off a little bit because the days are getting shorter, can't heat up as much. So the farther we get into October, the better chances of we're not seeing any more activity as far as the tropics. So far so good this year. Hasn't been that busy of a year as far as the Atlantic is concerned. We've been seeing a few storms out there, but nothing like they were predicting. Predictions not exactly as high as they were thinking. The actual number of storms not as high as they were predicting, I should say, for this year. All right, here's Futurecast. The back edge of the clouds coming in here this afternoon and then clearing out of here as we get into the afternoon hours. I think we'll clear out quicker than we're showing here on Futurecast. And we'll go with mostly clear skies through the overnight. Highs today around 90. We'll back off into the 70s and 60s as we go through the overnight. Expected to see middle 60s, maybe a few upper 60s for tomorrow morning. Wednesday afternoon, we'll go with mostly sunny skies. Temperatures climb up to around 90 degrees again for tomorrow, maybe 92. So a little hot for tomorrow afternoon, but another dry day on Wednesday, not looking at much in the way of any wet weather as we get into Wednesday. All right, let's take a look at the tropics real quick. Here is Hurricane Umberto. Not bothering anybody, just kind of a fish storm out there. Does not look as defined as it did yesterday at this time. Yesterday, we had winds up over 100 miles an hour. We had an eye with this. Not seeing that right now. It continues to work its way northward into some cooler water. And see, still Category 2 hurricane. It's showing here. But winds are at about 80 miles an hour, so that's not a Category 2. That's a Category 1, so I'm not sure why the graphic is showing 2 when it's, there we go, I think it's there, we have it updated. So it is a Category 1 hurricane, and then it's going to continue to weaken as we go through tomorrow and then kind of move out into the northern Atlantic. Winds at north-northwest at about 18 miles an hour. So it's really starting to pick up speed and move away from the U.S. Not that close, but still moving out towards the east. And then here is Hurricane Imelda. Let me update that there. Imelda is at 80 miles an hour as well, moving to the northeast at about 7, and it'll continue to push well out into the northern Atlantic as we go towards the weekend. but it shouldn't strengthen too much more. They have the forecast taking it up to about 90-mile-an-hour winds through Wednesday and Thursday, but moving away from the East Coast, so good news there. Looks like I said, just a little bit of rain, some wind, and some high surf along the East Coast for today through tomorrow, and then that's as it moves away, things will calm down, of course. Coastal marine forecast for your Tuesday: northeasterly wind of 5 to 10 knots, seas around 1 foot. Mostly smooth on the inland lakes and bays as those clouds start to clear out of here. Only one high tide today. That was at 1:47 this morning, so no more high tides for the rest of the afternoon. Only have one low tide left. That's at 4:20 this afternoon. Our sun sets at 7:02 tonight with a water temperature about 86 degrees there into the Gulf. Right now we're seeing an east-northeasterly wind at 3 to 5 miles an hour at Texas Point. So our forecast reads like this: decreasing clouds through the afternoon, northeasterly winds at 3 to 8, and temperatures are going to be right there in the upper 80s and lower 90s. So could be hot for a little while this afternoon. I'm not expected to stay at 90 for a while, maybe an hour or two. Most of the afternoon will be into the 80s. And then for tonight, we're dropping down into the 60s once again, so that'll feel nice. Our normal low for this time of year, about 67, and we'll see that around, especially parts of inland southeast Texas, maybe a little bit warmer than that around the triangle here, and a little bit cooler than that up towards the lakes. So looking pretty good overnight with just light and variable winds. 7-day forecast continues to show basically more of the same. We really don't see much of a chance of rain. If I would put any rain in here, maybe a 10% chance on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as we see some weak systems go by. But even if it does rain on those days, it's going to be an isolated shower, and it would be pretty light rain. Not expecting much in the way of any measurable rainfall through the next 7 days. Now, afternoon highs holding pretty close to 90. We might see a couple of days where we're in the upper 80s, but generally right around 90 degrees. And then morning lows falling back down into the upper 60s through most of the next 7 days. So if you see one day, you're probably going to like it just as much as the next, because they're not going to change a whole lot. Let me put a number here at the bottom of your screen, or have our director put the number up there. This number is a number that you can contact us. We have a cell phone that you can contact us by text messaging, 409-749-9302. And if you have any weather questions, maybe you have an event going on a Thursday night at 7 o'clock or something like that, and it's going to be outdoors, and you want to know, hey, what's the specific forecast for maybe that time? We could try to answer that for you, but you got to text us that question at this number, and we'll let you know. Or maybe you have plans for this weekend. You have a soccer game at 2 o'clock on Saturday. What's it looking like that day? We can kind of give you an idea of that. If you ask us the question, we can text you back. We are constantly looking at the phone. I wouldn't say constantly, but we're looking at it periodically, and we're trying to get back to folks who text us a message. Now, don't call us on this line. We won't answer the phone, but you definitely can send us a message, and we'll get back to you as quick as we can. I'll check the phone in the morning, and then Patrick likes to check the phone in the evening and try to get out any answers we can to folks who have any weather questions. All right, we're going to wrap up this stream. We do it every morning between 11:30 and 11:45. The next 3 days, Carrie Cooper's going to be here doing the stream, starting at 11:30 to 11:45. Then Patrick does it generally at night, Monday through Friday, from 6:30 to 6:45. So you can catch him doing the weather stream in the evening if you don't catch the one in the morning. If you made it all the way through my rambling this morning, appreciate it. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great afternoon, and I will talk to you later.